I'm sure we've all done it. We've all watched a show or watched an anime and thought, man, what would I be able to do if I was in this universe? Or you maybe thought you were one of the characters, or what would I do? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but the imagination sometimes can run pretty wild. Well, in today's video, we're looking at all the anime universes that I know about, like extensively know about, and we're going to see which ones would be the best. Now, I know some people will be like, oh, well, the best doesn't mean the best to live in, but in my mind, it does. So that's kind of what it's going off of here, is like which universe would be the best to live in. I know some people might try to argue that best to live in versus best universe can be different, but to me they're pretty similar. So let's get straight into it and get started with this tier list. So as you can see here, we have our tier list. We have Isekai Me, which is like, hey man, if I gotta go, send me here. Then we have IRL adjacent, meaning it could just be real life or it's similar enough, like sure, I'll go there. Then we have situational, which is kind of like, I don't want to give any examples yet, but it's like, okay, so they have some very positive stuff here, but they also have some negative stuff. Like, let's say everybody has superpowers, but there's like a war going on. You know what I'm saying? It's like, do you really want to be there? It depends, right? Then we have bad. I mean, this is just a bad universe, livable but bad. And then we have hell, like no shot we're going there. And I mean, we can get it started right away with Attack on Titan hell. There's no chance in hell anybody would ever want to live in the Attack on Titan universe, because why? There's nothing good about it whatsoever. No redeeming factor about living in the Attack on Titan universe. It actually sounds really miserable. Next, we have Baki. I mean, this is an IRL adjacent. I mean, it's pretty much just the IRL, but you have some freak people out there, which, I mean, yeah, sure, but yeah, it's not really anything crazy. What is crazy is that most of you guys that are watching this video are not subscribed, so please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hype the video, whatever, help me out a lot, please. Yeah, I mean, I upload anime videos 3 times a week, so there's something here for you all to enjoy, but let's continue with our tier list. Next, we have Beyblade. This is another IRL adjacent. I'm going to put it above Baki, though, because I think I'd rather have Beyblade than a bunch of freakishly strong dudes just throwing each other around and being able to swim across entire oceans. Yeah, not a big fan of that. We'll make the tier list a little bigger here. We'll make it smaller at the end. But next, we have Bleach. Bleach, I feel like it's kind of an IRL adjacent, but I don't know, it's not really that good. I'm going to say situational, because I feel like you're just going to have a lot more tragedy, but at the same time, if you're more comfortable with, like, confirming where souls go, like, if you're more comfortable with dying because you know where your soul is going to go, then maybe I would say situational, but I don't know. That's like that's a difficult one. I think for the average person, if you're just plopped in there, it's probably not going to feel much different than what real life feels like. But if you know about the universe, I feel like it's a situational one to want to live in. I don't think it could be desirable, but it's definitely not the worst. Next, we have Bungo Stray Dogs. This is, it's going to be another situational one, because a lot of people have powers. Well, actually, I wouldn't even say that. I think it's similar to Bleach. I feel like the average person, like, your life's not going to really be different, but there's going to be a whole bunch of crazy shit going down. And, actually, I think I'm going to move it to bad, because the average person does not have powers in this show, meaning whenever, like, the apocalypse shit stuff and all that happens, like, you're just fucked, and it's not enjoyable. Now, you might be able to get powers, so it might be okay, and the rest of the world, whenever that shit's not going down, is pretty normal, but, sometimes some crazy shit does happen, and you do not want to be there for that. Alright, next up we have Chainsaw Man. This is another one that's going to go into hell. I just really don't see how you can enjoy Chainsaw Man. Now, if you've seen the manga ending and want to argue, oh, blah, blah, this and that, which I'm not going to talk about the manga ending because I don't want to spoil anyone. No, we're not doing that. I mean, to me, that didn't happen. The terrible ending, but that's besides the point. Yeah, the Chainsaw Man universe would be absolute hell to live in. I just really don't understand why anybody would want to live in here. Next, we have Code Geass. This one is just going to go bad. I mean, it's in constant war and turmoil, and you have just these massive armies being built, and you have powers, which most people don't know the powers exist, right? But it just makes like it easier for the war and stuff to go down, which does happen in Code Geass, and you're most likely not going to be born with one of those powers. So I think it's a pretty bad universe to be in. It's not completely unlivable because it's, happened in real life. Like, we've had world wars and stuff, and people live through that. So, yeah, it's bad, but it's not absolute hell. Next, we have Cowboy Bebop. I'm actually going to put it in the Isekai Me tier because it is pretty much just the future, right? Like, Cowboy Bebop could totally be a possibility in the future, so that's why I have it in Isekai Me, because it's just the future, right? And, I think a lot of people would try to argue, oh, well, the future doesn't mean good, but it literally does. So, at least in my opinion, I mean, as long as things are getting better, they are getting better. Some things get better, some things get worse, sure, but if the quality of life is getting better, then I don't see how you could argue it's getting worse. So I'm gonna say Isekai Me because it's in the future, right? So yeah, it'd be quite desirable. Next, we have Dragon Ball. I'll be honest, I'm going to put it in bad. I debated on putting it in hell because it's like you are dying a lot, but you are being brought back. And at some point, you are probably going to get used to it or something like that. But it's just, it's terrible, honestly, to be in the Dragon Ball universe, but it's livable, I guess. It would suck, though, not going to lie. But most of your life will be normal until like every 10 years, and then you die again and come back. And it's like, oh, this time, I don't know. It's not great. Next up, we have Death Note. I'm going to be honest. Death Note it's pretty IRL adjacent because, let's be honest, most of us are not going to be affected by this because it takes place in, Japan? And, yeah, that's pretty much what would happen. There's going to be probably really only one massive thing going down, which is going to be like crazy national news. But let's be honest, 99% of people in the world are not going to be affected. So I'm just going to put an IRL adjacent. Like, yeah, it would kind of suck if the Death Note was real, but it's not the end of the world for most people. It's not that bad. Next, we have Death Parade. Death Parade, this is difficult because it is the real life, but it's like Bleach, you know where your souls are going to go, but there's no, like, misery. There's no, like in Bleach, you obviously have a lot of the, God, I can't remember what the creatures are called that, like, kill people or whatever. Kill. What? Dude, I can't speak. I don't know everything about, yeah, holy shit. All right, anyway, yeah, I think Death Parade is a similar thing where it's like you know where the souls are going to go, but there's not much misery going on there. So I feel like I'll put it in Isekai Me. It's kind of a cop-out because it is IRL adjacent, but it would be so nice to know, like, all right, there is a heaven and hell, right? Like, it would be nice to know that did exist, so I'd put that in Isekai Me. Next up, we have Demon Slayer. I'm not going to lie, Demon Slayer would probably be hell. It's not going to be as bad as the other two, but I'm not going to lie, bro. You're just going to be walking around and there's just demons everywhere. Like, what's the point? Like, I just don't get it. Like, there's not even going to be a point in living. And plus, you're put so far back in time. It's not like you have anything to really pass the time with. What are you going to do? Play sticks and stones with people outside until one of you gets caught by a demon and then you're all dead? Like, it's pointless. I don't really get it. It just seems like hell, honestly. It does not seem good whatsoever. I don't think there's a redeeming quality about Demon Slayer, honestly. Next, we have Cyberpunk Edgerunners. Oh, Cyberpunk Edgerunners is hard because, you know, the argument I made for Cowboy Bebop was it's in the future. Yes, yes, yes. But the thing with Cyberpunk about it being in the future, it also comes with a lot of corruption, which really wasn't seen in Cowboy Bebop. There obviously was some at some points, but in Cowboy Bebop, it wasn't really like the main thing, which it is in Cyberpunk. I'm going to put it in situational because it just depends. There's going to be a lot of bad stuff going on, but again, it's in the future. There's going to be a lot of improvements to life and things like that. So I guess it's kind of a pick your poison. Do you want life to progress to that point, but you have like worse officiating and like governments and stuff like that? Or, you know, maybe you don't want it because the corruption is too much and who really needs the future models and things like that. So I think that's why I go situational. Next, we have Fairy Tail. This is another big situational for me. Like, most people are going to have magic, if not all people, which is really cool. You basically have a brand new world here that you can explore, do whatever, this, and that. But there are a lot of big events that happen in Fairy Tail that are, like, very detrimental to people. And it's like, would you want to live through that? You know, probably not. I think it would have a lot of nice things going on in the Fairy Tail universe, but I think you have a lot of bad things going on as well. So that's why I say it's pretty situational. Next, we have Golden Kamuy. I'm not going to lie, this is literally just moving back to the past, so I'm going to put it in bad. Now, I know a lot of people, again, are going to be like, oh, well, it might have been better back then. Trust me, it's not. Like, you're going to miss so much of the stuff you have now. I think moving backwards is never, like, a viable option, so for me, it's going to be in bad. It's definitely livable, but, yeah, I don't see any reason why you would want to go back to that time period. There's literally no point whatsoever. Next, we have Gurren Lagann. To me, I think situational. Now, I did say I was only going to put universes that I know a lot about, and I have seen like half of Gurren Lagann. To my knowledge, the world is, you know, actually I'm going to put it in bad because the world is pretty barren, if I'm not mistaken. There's a lot of parts of the world that are isolated and left off. Yeah, it just overall doesn't seem like a great place to go. It's definitely livable, but it doesn't seem very enjoyable. Next, we have Hunter x Hunter. This one is tough, because I think the power system's cool. Everybody can, you know, work on their power and get stronger, sure. But I feel like a lot of people's lives are normal, but there are a lot of big events that go down too, and you're in a small area size because the rest of the world is really unexplored. You're really on one continent, so there's no escaping really reality either. You kind of are stuck there. So I think it's going to go in situational. It's kind of a similar thing with Fairy Tail. Like, yes, you could have powers. Yes, you could do like a whole bunch of different things if you wanted to. But at the same time, there's a lot of global events going on. Well, I say global, but everybody lives on like the same nation. So it's really, you have a lot of national scale stuff going on that a lot of people can't really handle. So I think it's very situational. I think it just depends. Next, we have JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'm honestly going to put it in bad. Actually, I'm actually going to put it in hell, and here's the reason why. This is going to have some spoilers if you haven't watched all of JoJo's. No manga spoilers, this is only going to be anime spoilers. But I feel like with JoJo's, the reason I'm putting it in hell is because if you know about the universe when you're going there, then you know that you're putting in all this work for a life, and it's just all going to get reset. And to me, that's actually miserable. That sounds actually terrible. I think dying in some cases is probably better than that. Like, you're going to lose everything you work towards. And yeah, I think that's pretty rough. Also, the global scale events that are going on, like, is nuts. Like, you would hate to be a part of any of those. So now they are, or I shouldn't say global. Most of them are like national level threats. The only one that was really global was kind of Dio and Poochie. But other than that, you're probably pretty good. But still, I think it's just working and building that entire life just to watch it all go down the drain just sounds terrible. Next, we have JJK. This is another hell pick, not gonna lie. Now, you could be fine. You could be able to live on your own peacefully, but they are just demons and monsters everywhere that you can't even see. People are just dying out of nowhere, and eventually it gets known to you because, like, the shit gets announced and plans start moving. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it does just sound terrible. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe, like, all the stuff in JJK, like, only happens in Japan because Mei Mei left and went to Singapore or something like that, and she was fine or something like that. And then Nanami wanted to do the same, if I'm not mistaken. But at the end of the day, it could always spread. I don't know. It just doesn't really seem like a good universe to be in. Next, we have One Piece. This one is pretty similar to Cyberpunk and Hunter x Hunter. There's going to be a lot of corruption, you know that. But there's also an ability to do many different things that you want to do, work on different powers. It's a completely new world. But I do think it's situational because there is a lot of bad stuff in One Piece. There's a lot of good stuff, but there's a lot of bad. So it is really depending on, what you value. Do you want that adventurous, dangerous life? If so, then One Piece is probably pretty admirable. If you want what most people want, I assume, is just a peaceful, loving, quiet life, then you don't want One Piece. That would actually be super terrible. So I think it's situational depending on what you want. Then we move on to One Punch Man. I'm not going to lie. I might put this in hell because the global events they have are insane. People's houses, like whole cities, are just getting demolished, bro. And I'm not going to lie. Even if not a single person dies in One Punch Man, that is still annoying as shit. I don't think anybody wants to deal with rebuilding their entire house or the entire apartment has to be rebuilt. Like, what are you going to do during that time? And then it just happens again. Like, I don't understand how anybody could enjoy that. So, yeah, it's just going to be in hell. Next, we have Brave Master. Now, this is a show I dropped. I don't know why I left this on here. I'm just going to put it with Fairy Tail because I think it's pretty similar. But we'll move on to Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling, to me, is another one that's like hell. Like, you have all these dungeons popping up, and a lot of times are not really controllable, and you're relying on one guy to do everything. How could you ever live comfortably? Even if you could say that one guy is God, and he has to, do everything on his own. It's like, that's ridiculous. I just don't see how you could live comfortable at all with all that shit going down in the world. So I think that'd actually be hell. Next, we have Vinland Saga. This is another bad for the same reasons as Golden Kamuy. It just takes place in the past, and that's just not a good thing to go back. Next, we have Devil May Cry. This is another one that's hell. Literally hell. Like, hell just seeps into the real world. So, yeah, it's hell. Yeah, pretty simple. Next, we have D. Gray Man. This is another one that'd be absolutely terrible to live in. It'd be really bad, I'm not going to lie. D. Gray Man would not be fun to live in, bro. All of your loved ones turning into weapons, and even not your loved ones. Sometimes you could be chilling and know, like, hey, I'm not bringing them back, but somebody else does, and then fuck, dude, you're fucked. Like, it's such a bad life. That'd actually be horrible. Next, we have GTO. I mean, this is literally IRL adjacent. I'll put it behind Beyblade because it's no different from IRL, and Beyblade is slightly cooler because we get, like, a new sport. Next, we have Tsukimichi Moonlight Fantasy or Moonlit Fantasy. This is an actual isekai. Would I want to be isekai'd in this world? Probably not. I think it's a situational one, though. To me, Tsukimichi is like, there are a lot of good things about it because it's a brand new world. There's a lot of nice people. There's a lot of bad people. Honestly, it's kind of similar to the real world. It is just a brand new experience, but with powers and things like that and all this different stuff. But it kind of operates similarly to the real world, sort of like maybe the real world in like the past. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's typical fantasy anime. So the fantasy world, there are a lot of issues with it, but there are also a lot of cool things with it. So I'm going to put it in situational for that reason. Next, we have the Elusive Samurai. I mean, this literally happened IRL, except the Elusive Samurai. This is a fucked up version of it, but anyway, that's besides the point. The Elusive Samurai, I mean, it literally happened IRL, so it's livable, but it would be bad. I don't see why you'd ever want to put yourself through that. Next, we have Kill la Kill. This is another one that, I don't know, I just can't imagine would be good. I'm going to put it in bad, because to me, it's like, I feel like most people are pretty helpless in Kill la Kill. This is another one where you're relying on a couple people to do something. But even if not, like, not everybody is involved in all that shit going down. But even the world itself just doesn't really seem that interesting. It kind of seems crappy, if I'm going to be honest. So I feel like bad is pretty fair. Next, we have Mashal. Everybody's going to have magic, unless if you're unfortunately born as Mash, which you're probably not. So everybody's going to have magic. There's going to be bad stuff going down. I don't know, this is a difficult one because you are going to have like a terrorist organization, but that's not really that different from real life. You know what, screw it, put it in isekai. Like, yeah, you have that like real bad group of people, but for the most part, most people are in agreement to stop those people. You're just learning magic as well. It's basically kind of like the real world, but you have magic and like I feel like less corruption in Mashal. But yeah, so I feel like you could isekai me there and it'd be alright. Next we have Pokemon. I mean, this is going to go top of isekai me. I think everybody ever who has ever liked Pokemon would be like, yeah, I would love Pokemon to be real. Like, that would actually be like probably the dopest thing ever. So yeah, isekai me Pokemon. Next we have Windbreaker. This is literally just IRL, so it's going to go IRL adjacent. Same with Ippo. We'd have some good boxing matches though, so I'll put it a little bit higher. Next we have Ghost in the Shell. I'm going to be honest, most people's lives do not change from this at all, so I'm going to put it in IRL adjacent. It's honestly going to be no different from most people, so yeah, that's why I leave it there. Next, we have the God of High School. This is literally hell. Like, this actually, it's probably going to go to the bottom. It has a similar thing with Dragon Ball, where you're just going to die, most likely. Like, if I'm not mistaken, in the God of High School, I can't remember the exact number, but I think they said like 70% of the population was wiped out or something like that. Like, holy fuck, dude, there's a 70% chance you get killed. Like, no thanks, bro. The God of High School actually sounds horrible to live in. Yeah, no shot. We are not living there. That is probably one of the worst. Next, we have Psyche K. This is literally just IRL pretty much. I mean, I know Psyche has like powers or whatever, but it's pretty IRL adjacent. Next, we have Rurouni Kenshin. Again, this is going to be in the past. I'd put it below Golden Kamuy, so again, probably going to be bad. Next, we have Skate the Infinity. I mean, this is pretty much just IRL, right? So, sure. Then we have Doraemon. This, I don't know, because Doraemon is weird. I mean, I feel like you got to put it in Isekai me. I'm not going to put it that high because I'm not sure if I'd want to go there, but I feel like there's no reason not to. I feel like it's probably better than the real world. So yeah, Doraemon, I could go ahead and Mashal actually. Next, you have Boruto. Now, the Boruto and Naruto universes are the same, so I'm going to put them up there as well. So this one, to me, is one that could go in situational. Like, what I love about Naruto is that everybody has a shot to be great. Like, anybody can be great in Naruto. You can be a splendid ninja no matter what. Real ones know. So, that's why I think it is good, but it might still have to go situational because there are a lot of global threats that do go on. It's not like individual threats. Like, you have literal world wars. You had one guy who was putting belt to ass on the entire world, and that means you got to deal with that shit. So, I think it's going to go situational. I think the power system and stuff is great. It's similar to Hunter x Hunter. Allows everybody to be great, but you have, like, a lot of issues that you got to fucking deal with then. If you want to be great, you got a lot of issues to deal with. So, yeah, going to go in situational. Next, we have Yu Yu Hakusho. I think this one is similar to Bleach, honestly. Everything you could say about Bleach, or that I said about Bleach, probably say about Yu Yu Hakusho as well. Next, we have Sword Art Online. Okay, see, this one's hard because I think it would be cool. Like, if anybody's seen Ready Player One, like, that'd be a phenomenal world to live in. And Sword Art is similar, except you can't take off the headset. So it's like, you're locked into it, and I think that would be pretty bad. I think it's livable, though, so I'd put it, like, there, but that would be bad. If it was like Ready Player One, where you could just get off the game whenever you want, then Yeah, it'd be fine, but you can't. So unfortunately, gonna have to go bad. Next we have Blue Exorcist. I just don't see how this could be a good universe to live in. I'm not gonna lie, sounds pretty bad. Next we have My Hero Academia. Now you could say this is similar to One Punch Man, but I'm gonna be honest. The global event shit really, it's not as common as in One Punch Man, if that makes sense. Like as soon as Shigaraki and All For One are beaten, this ain't gonna happen. Like this ain't gonna happen again. So I guess you just literally are relying on All Might and Deku and Bakugo and all them. Unless if you become like super strong, and you're most likely gonna have powers, which is nice. So I'm gonna put it in situational. I think it's a similar thing to Fairy Tail, honestly. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna put it there. Next we have Assassination Classroom. This is just IRL adjacent. Our lives would not change at all. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Oh yikes, this is not a good one to live in. I'm not gonna lie. Is it livable though? Maybe not. It might go hell because, I mean, there's a good chance you just die and there's nothing you can do about it. And you don't even know what's hitting you, right? So, I mean, pretty good chance. Like, and the government, like, there's no really redeeming qualities here. Now, if you get brought into the universe after Edward and them win, yeah, but we don't know what that looks like, so we can't say that, right? This has to be in the universe that we know, and that would be hell. Next, we have Mob Psycho. Ooh. I feel like overall it would be bad. I don't know, because like even the fact of Mob existing, like Mob's a good guy, but he even does bad things because he just can't control it. I think it's really going to be bad. I feel like that's a lot of power that a lot of people just can't control, and I don't think, you know, the fact that a select few people are going to have it, that as well is just not great. I'd put it in bad. Next, we have Black Clover. This is one that I've debated between bad and situational because, yes, you are going to be at war, but you're going to have magic, so it's going to be pretty cool, you know what I'm saying? For the most part, I mean, almost everybody has magic, so I think it's a similar situation to Naruto, so I'm going to put it there. Next, we have Fire Force. Man, Fire Force is actually hell on earth. Like, genuinely, Fire Force is one of the worst. It's down here with these bottom four, like, actually terrible universe. Next up, we have To Be Hero X. So this is like living in the boys universe, sort of, but not as like lethal to the public, if that makes sense. Like it's basically realistic superheroes, except it's not as vulgar. So probably more realistic than the boys because not everybody's going to be a piece of shit like they are in the boys, but a lot of people are in To Be Hero X because it is kind of realistic superheroes. So I don't know. I feel like you got to put it in Isekai Me because it is the real world, right? But just like if superheroes were real, and I think everybody would want superheroes to be real. I mean, I get the arguments for why not, but I feel like it's almost no different. So I could put an IRL adjacent, but I think adding superpowers would be so awesome that I'm going to put it in Isekai Me. Then we have Samurai Champloo. Again, this is going to be no different, just the past. I'll put it in bad. Trigun. Trigun's hard. Do I want to put it in hell or bad? Like, it's not a good place to live. And honestly, I'm going to put it in hell, but I'll put it at the top because it is kind of livable, but you're in constant fear always. And if you know about the universe, you know that, like, the guy that everybody else is fearful is not even the guy who you should be fearful of. But even then, there's still people to be scared of. Like, it's not a great place to live. There's also not a big population, and most of the world is just, like, desert. There's not much there. So what do you want to do there? Like, nothing. Like, I feel like it'd be pretty hellish. Next, we have Fate Zero. Fate Zero, I think it's livable, but I think it'd be pretty bad. It's always just going to be a bunch of fuckheads that get the powers of people to help them or whatever, the servants. Like even the good guys, like Kiritsugu was a good guy or whatever. Dude, he's still a fuckhead that caused like a lot of damage. Like, come on, bro. And honestly, he didn't even use Saber for that. He caused most of the damage himself. So you get what I'm saying? It's just a bad universe to live in. Like, why would you want that? It sounds terrible. But next up, we have Tokyo Revengers. Again, this is just going to be IRL adjacent. Then we have Dr. Stone. This is horrible. I don't know why you'd ever want to live in Dr. Stone. Like, this is genuinely so bad. I don't know why you'd want to live there. Next up, we have Pluto. This is another one that's like sort of in the future, but this takes place around a literal like war going on. So it doesn't have the benefits of being like, oh, well, it's in the future, so you get like all the good future stuff. Because the whole universe of Pluto is based on war. So I don't even want to put it like with Cyberpunk, like, oh, you get all the futuristic benefits, because there's no benefits in the Pluto world. It's just war. Like, it's just war. So now for most people, it is livable. If you're a human, you don't really have issues. I'm still going to put it in bad. because it would genuinely be bad to live in. Next, we have Erased. This is going to be IRL adjacent, honestly. I mean, nothing's going to change for most of us. It would suck about the story that happened, but yeah, it wouldn't change. Next up, we have Monster. Again, this is going to be IRL adjacent. Again, would suck, but most of us are not going to be affected. Then we have Slayers. Low-key Slayers is like an isekai one. Like, yeah, there's some fucked up shit that be going on, but at the same time, bro, it just looks fun as hell. Like, and most people aren't really going to be in danger if you see it's a goofball show, you know. You get hurt and then you're back up the next episode. That's kind of like the type of show it is. So yeah, I mean, I think you could isekai me there and I'd be fine. Next we have Soul Eater. This is another one, probably isekai me. I don't know, because it might just be biased because it's so freaking cool. But they do have a lot of bad shit that does go down, so, you know, maybe situational. It's going to be similar to Fairy Tail, not going to lie. I'll put it above just because I'd rather go to Soul Eater than Fairy Tail, but similar things there. Next we have Undead Unluck. This would probably be pretty bad. The world seems like not important anymore. Like, there's just like a select group of people that are important, and the world nobody really cares for anymore. So yeah, I'd put it in bad. Next we have Shaman King. I mean, this is going to be unnoticeable for most people, but it's going to be a similar thing where it's like, it could be good, could be bad. I don't know. I'll probably put it like there. And then we have the Fable. Again, this is just going to be IRL adjacent. Nobody's going to notice anything's happening. It'd be kind of cool if the stories ever came out, though. And that's our list. If you enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and everything. Help me out. What universe would you guys want to live in? Let me know down below. Even with all the bad things. Maybe you're like, hey, I get it, man. It might suck to live in Sword Art, but hey, it might be pretty cool for me. So just let me know what you guys think. And yeah, make sure to tune in for my other videos. Hope to see you guys later. Peace.